Okay, so let's continue. Did we see this grammar present and real?
Yeah, yeah, we saw.
Okay, let's continue here then.
Uh, Teacher, I have some questions.
Go on.
Uh, you said to me that tomorrow uh, uh, we were gonna finish the course.
Yes, yes. Actually, we should have finished before.
Yeah, the fifth.
Yes,
Yeah,
because if you see the calendar, let me show you that. If you see the
yeah.
calendar, we should have finished way before, but we didn't have the material. So we took some classes
Yeah.
here. Let's see. So I don't know where's that.
Uh, you sent to me the calendar in our chat.
Yes, exactly. So can you see there? We should have finished, I think, on August. And yes,
Yes, the 15.
yes. So we're taking many more classes actually. So you should be finished by tomorrow. Actually, wherever we finish, we should finish, and then you should take the vocabulary test. Are you ready for that?
Um, uh, maybe so. I'm not really ready.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, it's taking me
I think
more
that
time. But
here's
the test should be the Wednesday or tomorrow. That test,
no.
the vocabulary.
We're gonna have the test after tomorrow. So today, tomorrow, we're gonna advance, and then we could have the test. The words test, the vocabulary test, we could do that. We could do that. I don't know. Maybe on Friday.
Uh, okay, teacher.
Okay, so let's do that on Friday. Okay, so let's listen here.
When this course is over, I'll be taking a short vacation. Will be taking is the future continuous. And today, we'll be looking at this form. Let's begin.
Yeah, please read.
Uh, we use the future continuous to talk about something that will be in progress at a specific time in the future. We'll be practicing this afternoon. When we use the future continuous, we are interested in when the activity will start or end. It may start before or after the specific time mentioned. Remember, we usually don't use continuous forms with non-action verbs. We do not say, Dean will be having a headache tomorrow.
Okay, continue, please.
Uh, we form the future continuous with will be plus the base form of the verb plus ing. We often use contractions with this form. She will be waiting for you. Dean will not be playing in the next game.
Continue here.
We, we can also form the future continuous with be going to plus be plus the base form of the verb plus ing. The meaning is the same. Nick will be playing in the next game. Nick is going to be playing in the next game. Remember, in conversation and informal writing, we usually use contractions with be going to. He is going to be playing in the next game. He isn't going to be sitting the game out.
Okay, so here we're trying to talk about things that will be happening in the future. We're not interested in when this activity will start or end. So basically, we're trying to mention like we'll be practicing this afternoon. What we're gonna be doing after in the future. We could say we'll be practicing this afternoon, or this afternoon we'll be practicing. If if you use the time at the beginning, then you need a comma, and you could also use be going to here.
Mm.
We'll be practicing this afternoon, or we are going to be practicing this afternoon. Basically, both express the same thing. Do you have any questions here, maybe?
No, no, teacher. Yes.
Okay, so
Okay,
let's
fine.
continue.
Hi, you're just the person I wanted to see. There's something that we need to discuss today. It has to do with object-adjective clauses. These are the clauses that we use to identify the object of the sentence. Let's take a look at them.
Okay, let's read.
Adjective clauses, also called relative clauses, identify nouns or indefinite pronouns such as one, someone, and something. Adjective clauses often answer the questions which one or which ones. You are the two people I wanted to see. I wanted to see is an adjective clause. It identifies the two people. In other words, Nick wanted to see these particular people. You are the two people I wanted to see. Adjective clauses often begin with a relative pronoun, such as who or that. The relative pronoun refers to a noun or pronoun outside the adjective clause. The rest of the adjective clause tells more about that noun or pronoun. This is the recording that I told you about. The relative pronoun is that. It refers to recording. The adjective clauses is that I told you about. It gives information about the recording. This tape, this is the tape that I told you about.
Continue.
The relative pronoun combines two sentences into one sentence. That's the video. Talia made a video. In object, adjective clauses, the relative pronoun is the object of the verb in the adjective clause. In the following sentence, the verb is heard. The object of the verb is conversation. We heard the conversation. The conversation will clear Nick's name. When the sentence changed to an adjective clause, the object of the verb is the relative pronoun that. Notice that the relative pronoun always comes first in an adjective clause.
Can you continue, please?
We can use the relative pronoun who or that when the object of the adjective clause is a person. There's someone who I have to go see, or there's someone that I have to go see. We can also use the relative pronoun whom when the object is a person, but this is very formal. The soccer player whom the Federation is investigating is the very popular Nick Crawford. We use the relative pronoun that or which when the object is a thing. My conversation wasn't the only one that she recorded, or my conversation wasn't the only one which she recorded. That is more common than which in informal conversation.
Okay, so here, what we're trying to use is in this case, the adjective clauses, also called relative clauses, where we can identify nouns. You could say, what did you study? You study architecture, right?
Yeah. Architecture.
You could, if you saw like one of your teachers, you could say, that is the that is the teacher. So how would you combine these two sentences? Do you have any idea?
Mm, with
With who?
yeah.
How would you
With
combine them?
with whom? That
With
is
who?
the oh
With who?
that is the teacher who was my favorite.
Yes. Excellent. So you can, this is an adjective clause in this case. That's my favorite. It's an adjective, it's the adjective clause. You could also say that is the teacher that was my favorite, but this is more informal.
Okay.
Or you could combine these two things. Instead of talking about people, you could talk about things like how would you combine these two?
Mm, in this case, we can use that, right? Or we
Yes,
can still
in
using
case
to.
of things, you could you need to use which or that.
Okay.
You could use which here.
That is the car which comes from China.
Excellent. Or you could say also that comes from China, but this is more informal. So in this case, for people, you need to use who or that. And for things, you could use which or that. But in the TOEFL, I would recommend that you use who for people and which for things. Don't use that because that's more for informal speaking. That's more common, of course, but in the TOEFL, it's much better to use who or which because those two are more formal. That's what we want to show in the TOEFL.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the thing there. I think you already know how to use this. So, well, there's also I want you to let's work on this sentence. How would you combine these two?
Mm, that is the teacher who I hate.
Yes. Great, but it's a little bit different because in this, the first sentence is the same in both cases. That is the teacher.
Mm,
But in the first one, you have that teacher was my favorite, and the second one, I hated that teacher. In this sentence, that teacher, what is that teacher? Is it the subject or is it the object? What is that teacher in this sentence?
that teacher is the noun.
But what type of noun? Is it the subject? Is it the verb? Or is it an object? What is that teacher? Like in Spanish, right? In Spanish, you have a subject and a predicate. In this case, what is that teacher here?
The object.
Why the object? No, it's not the object. That teacher was my favorite. In this case, that teacher is the subject. Right? In Spanish, you probably know the subject and the predicate, right?
Yeah.
So in Spanish, you have the subject and the predicate.
Subject.
So here's the same. This is the subject and this is the predicate. In this sentence, I hated that teacher. What is the subject here?
That teacher.
No, it's not.
No, it's just I.
Yes, exactly. The subject comes first, always.
Yeah.
And in this case, that teacher is the object. Because it answers, I hated who?
That
I
teacher.
hated that teacher, right? It answers the question. Who? So that's why here's the object. So this is a little bit different than this, because here that teacher is the subject, and that teacher here is the object. So here, instead of saying that teacher, that is the teacher who I hated, you could say that is the teacher whom I hated.
Holy head.
Or you could also say who I hated. Or you could say that I hate it. Or you have a fourth option, I hate it. So this one is the most formal. Second most formal. Third most formal. Least formal. So here you have four options. Whom, that's the better one. Who, it's a little bit less formal. That, less formal. And no relative pronoun. That's the least formal. Okay, so when this is called an object adjective clause. Object adjective clause because it comes from an object, right? This is an object. So you have four options. But if it comes from the subject, it only has two options, right? It only has the option of who or that.
Or that.
You can't use it without an object. Like this. This is my teacher, was my favorite. If you said this, would this be correct? Is this correct?
No.
No,
Yeah.
right? No, it's not.
The teacher word. No.
That is the teacher was my favorite. No. So you only have two options, who or that. And when you use an object as its clause, you have four options, whom, who, that, and without anything. Okay.
Okay, teacher.
So let's practice a little bit.
So if we are talking about somebody like the teacher, it's always the best using with a whom.
If it's an object, yes. If it's a subject, you can't use whom. The best option
Yeah.
would be who.
Oh,
Let's practice
okay.
here. That is the guy. That guy sold me a car. What options do we have here? What's the most formal option?
Who?
Okay, can
That
you
is the guy who sold me a car.
do you have any other option here?
That is the guy that sold me the car. Sold me a car.
And do we have any other option?
That is the guy sold me a car, but that is the least form. The
No,
least
this is not an option. This is not an option. Only two options here because that guy is the subject. So you only have these two options. Who or that?
okay.
Okay, so let's practice with another one. What options do we have here? What is the most formal one?
Whom? That is the guy whom I like.
Okay, and any other option?
Who and that. That is the guy who I like, and that is the guy that I like.
Is there any other?
Yes, that is the guy I like.
Yes. So here you have four options, and in the first one you only have two. Okay, so this is because here this is an object adjective clause. That's the reason, because that guy here is the object. And what is the subject of this sentence? I like that guy. What is the subject there?
I,
And what is the subject in that guy sold me a car?
that guy.
Exactly. Okay, so any questions here?
No, it's clear now. Thanks, teacher.
Okay. So here, as I told you, you have for that when the adjective clause is a person. Let's work with this one. How many options do we have? What is the most formal option here?
Whom?
Okay,
There's someone whom I have to go see.
okay. What's the next one?
The who, that, and just I have go to see.
Okay, great. Yes.
Mm.
And here, what is the most formal option?
Who? There's someone who call you, and there is someone that call you.
Okay, any other option?
No.
Great. Yes. Well, the pronouns don't change. Pronouns are the same for singular pronouns, for male or female. And we often leave out the object relative pronoun, as we said. This is very common in conversation and writing. So here, Talia is the one who Nick wants to see. What other options do we have here? Talia is the one who Nick wants to see. Is there a more formal way to do it or not?
Um, Uh,
Here's what we have here.
I think just one, maybe just that. Tally is the one that Nick wants to see.
Okay, let's review here. What are the two sentences?
The first one will be Talia is the one.
The second one?
Mm, Nick wants to see it.
Then we could see Talia here. Or that one, right? Talia or that one?
Yeah.
Or that one. Are you sure? There are only these two options?
No, is the four options we have.
Yes. How can you detect that? Because here this is a subject, right? After whom you have a subject, Nick. If you remember with the other example, if it was the other way around, here, after who or whom you have a subject, I. Right? That's why you know this is the four options. And in the other one, after who is a verb. Right? That's why you know it's only the two options here, depending on if you have a subject or not.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes. So, exactly. So you have four options.
The other one, the same, right? The
Yes.
four options.
Let's see. This line is a show
that I always watch.
Here you don't have four options because you don't have whom. You have only three options.
Three options. Yeah.
What are the three options?
Who, that, and just the I always watch.
You were talking about a show. Is the show? Is this a person?
Oh no. Just that and which. Yeah.
Yes, which I always watch and that. And you could also use it without anything. You have three options here. Which that is without anything. Why? Because here you have a subject. Pretty sort of the same as this, but the difference is that here you're talking about a person, and that's why you have whom, who, that, and nothing. And here, because it's a thing, you have which, that, or nothing. Okay, I don't know if you've got any questions until here.
No. Next teacher.
Hi. TV news is amazing. The latest news can be seen by people everywhere at the same time. So by now, Nick's story must be known all over the place. Can be seen and must be known are passive modals. We're going to learn more about them today.
Okay, and please read.
Verbs can have either an active or a passive form. We use the active form of a verb when we want to focus on the agent, the door of the action. Talia is going to interview Nick later in the day. The example focuses on Talia, the one who may interview Nick. We use the passive form of the verb when we want to focus on the receiver of the action. Nick is going to be interviewed by Talia later in the day. The example focuses on Nick. All verb forms, present, past, present and past continuous, present and past perfect, it's it's it is it is I don't know how to read that. Can be used in the passive. We can also use modals in the passive to form a passive modal. We use a modal plus be plus the past participle. The recording can be edited,
etc.
etc. Okay.
Continue, please.
We use can with the passive to talk about present or future ability. The word cup matches can be seen all over the world. We use could with the passive to talk about past ability. Nick innocence couldn't be proven without Talia's help. We use could, may, might, and can't with the passive to talk about the future possibility or impossibility. Dean might be sent to jail for framing Nick. The interview may be scheduled for later today.
Continue, please.
We use should, ought to, and had better with the passive to talk about advice. The Soccer Federation ought to be told right away about Nick's innocence. We use have to, and must with the passive to talk about necessity. The recording had to be edited.
Okay, great. So here, verbs we can have either an active or passive form. Like, Nick is going to interview, Talia is going to interview Nick later in the day, or Nick is gonna be interviewed by Talia in the day. So for models, you use model plus be plus past participle. You can use this with can to talk about present or future ability. Or you could use it with could to talk about past ability. You could also use could, may, might, and can to talk about possibility or impossibility. He might be killed, the president could be attacked, they may be put in jail, he can be targeted. And then you could also use should or had better in the passive form. Or you could also use it with must or have to. So,
Teacher,
yes.
the meaning of should and ought to is not the same, but is really close, right? Like should is debería y ought to es casi lo mismo, ¿no?
It's the same. It's
Okay,
exactly the same.
okay.
Okay, it's not almost the same, it's exactly the same. Had better is a little bit stronger,
Yeah,
but in between should and oughta, they're both the same.
okay.
Okay, any questions maybe here?
No, I forget the the word ought to.
Ah, you forgot.
Yeah, it's I seen these words uh, from a long time ago. Después de mucho tiempo, estoy bien.
Okay, no worry. So, let's continue, please. So I'm gonna assign you the homework, please. Hold on. Friday, yes, Friday. It's gonna be the day.
Yeah.
Okay, so all the homework is on Friday. So on Wednesday we're gonna have the C2 and the C3 test, and on Thursday it's gonna be the C4 and final one.
Okay, teacher.
Okay, so we're not gonna have classes on Wednesday or Thursday, but we're gonna have the two tests. And on Friday is the homework and it's the words, the vocabulary test. So please be ready. Do you want to start the TOEFL course today or in 2 weeks?
Uh, how that it works, teacher? The test of the TOEFL.
That's
Uh,
that's what we're gonna see in the TOEFL course, the 6-week course.
yeah.
It's from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m.
That we see that at the end of the course, or I can choose I don't know any day or.
Yes, but since we're gonna finish this week, you could start today because today we're gonna start if you want. Or the next day we're gonna start is gonna be on Monday the 16th.
Okay.
So you
And
could take it there. You could
uh,
start there.
how long is that? Is a week?
No, 6
Uh,
weeks.
uh, yeah, the TOEFL course.
Yes, 6 weeks. Exactly. But it's a group it's with a group of people.
Okay.
6 weeks. So if you start today, you're gonna finish. So you finish Friday the 11th. But if you started on September the 16th, you could finish the 25th. Depends on you. You could start
Okay.
16, the 2nd, or even at the end of the month.
And it's um more hard, or it's like the homework we s- we I having or I don't know.
No, there's no homework in that course.
It's like a test every day, or
Yes, we see an ability every week. Like I don't know, one week we see writing, and the other week we see reading, and then it's 2 weeks speaking, 2 weeks writing, 1 week listening, 1 week. Sorry, 2 weeks is speaking, 2 weeks is writing, 1 week is reading, and 1 week is listening. So that's the 6 weeks.
okay, teacher.
It's basically in order to practice. But you're obligated to assist to all of the classes because you're a TOEFL guaranteed program. You could miss 2 classes at most, but then you must assist to all of them because you're like in the TOEFL guarantee program. You don't want to lose the guarantee part of the program, right?
Yeah. No,
That's the
it's
thing.
okay. There's no problem. I don't have any appointment in
At
those
night.
days.
Okay, so when do you want to start? It depends on you. You could do it today or the 16th or the 30th. But let me know now so that I can put you in the group.
Okay, what I have to say,
Or do you want to go between the 16th and the 30th and think about it?
and in what time? It always in the night, or it can
Yeah,
be in
7 to 8 p.m.
oh, okay, always, teacher.
Monday through Friday, the first week, and the second to the 6th week is Tuesday to Friday. We don't have classes on Monday, but the first week we do have classes on Monday.
Okay, teacher. Uh, uh, Maybe the 16th, teacher, because I really want to
Okay,
study really hard with the
the words.
vocabulary test.
Okay, yes, don't worry. So it's gonna be the 16th. So we're gonna add you to the group, and we're gonna start that day.
Okay, teacher. Yeah,
Okay.
and later that course, I going to take the TOEFL, right?
Yes, you get to.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay, so
thanks, teacher.
no problem. So, uh, please, can you read these?
Yeah. Listening. Predict topics of conversation. Listen for specific information about events in people's lives. Listen for main ideas about people's relationships. Listen to the key ideas in short testimonial speeches. Speaking. Talking about intentions. Talking about plans. Wishing someone luck. Asking for future updates. Grammar. Adjective clauses. Review and expansion. Auxiliary verbs for emphasis. Review of phrasal verbs. Pronunciation. Stress in phrasal verbs. Vowel followed by R. Reading and vocabulary. Getting the meaning from context. Understanding main ideas and details. Writing. Pre-writing technique. Take notes. Task. Write a summary of reviews of a classic film. Skill. Summarize main ideas.
Okay, any question?
No.
Continue, please.
Video listening. Watch the video and answer questions about the information and ideas in it. Learn more about body language and other cultural aspects of the video. Vocabulary. Learn the meanings and usage of these phrases with break. Break a habit, break a law, break a promise, break a record, break a story, break a sweat, break a new ground, break somebody's heart, break the ice, break the news to somebody. Speaking. Learn expressions you can use to talk about intentions. I've been meaning to call you. Talk about plans. What are you planning to do with someone? Wish someone luck. I'm sure everything will work out. Ask for future updates. Keep me posted. Grammar. Learn to express yourself using adjective clauses. Review and expansions. Is Tolly Santos the reporter who broke the story? Auxiliary verbs for emphasis. It does seem like yesterday. A review of phrasal verbs. Things have worked out for you, Nick. Task listening. Listen to the speeches given at a party for Talia. Match the quotes with the correct person. Pronunciation. Practice your pronunciation of stress in phrasal verbs. Amy called me up. I just found out the news. Vowels followed by uh, R. Work, perfect, care, here. Uh,
Continue, please.
uh, Reading. Read an article about endings in movies. On the web, research classic films. Summarize reviews of a classic film.
Okay, any questions here?
Maybe one word from the top
Which one?
was break new ground. That phrase.
Break new ground.
It's like
Well, in that case, so when you're when you say break new ground, it's like, in a sense, like to explore or to do something completely different. Do something or discovering something new.
okay.
Do something very different. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Any other one?
No, that's all. Thanks.
So let's continue here. Hold on. This is gonna be homework for tomorrow. The listening place is gonna be homework for tomorrow.
Okay.
Hi, it's Emily. We're almost at the end of the course. This is a time when you can look back and feel good about how much you've learned. It's also a good time to review. The grammar point that we're going to review today is adjective clauses. Did you recognize the adjective clauses that I just used?
Okay, can you please read?
Yeah. Adjective clauses, also called relative clauses, often begin with a relative pronoun. The relative pronoun can be the subject or object of the adjective clause. Is Talia Santos the reporter who broke the story? In the example, the relative pronoun is who is the subject of the adjective clause. Yes, she's the one that I work with. In the example, the relative pronoun is that is the object of the adjective clause.
Can you please?
We can use the relative pronouns who or that for a person. Talia's the person. Talia's the person who did the most to help me, or Talia's the person that did the most to help me. When sometimes we use whom for a person when the relative pronoun is the object of the clause. Whom is very formal. This year, the Most Valuable Player award goes to an athlete whom we all admire. We can also use the relative pronouns that or which for a thing. I turned down the job offer that I got at Newsbeat, or I turned down the job offer which I got at Newsbeat. That is more common than which in informal conversation.
Can you please?
We can use where in adjective clauses that describe a place. Is there some place where we can go for a few minutes? The adjective clause where we can go for a few minutes describe some place. We use when or that in adjective clauses that describe a time. It seems like it was just yesterday when you asked me to turn up the volume. Or it seems like it was just yesterday that you asked me to turn up the volume. The adjective clause when you asked me to turn up the volume or that you asked me to turn up the volume describe yesterday.
Continue, please.
In adjective clauses, we often leave out the object relative pronoun. We also leave out when or that in adjective clauses that describe a time. This is very common in informal conversation and writing. There is something that I need to discuss with you. It's hard to find a time when we can talk. We can leave out where. That's the juice bar where Nick Crawford liked to go. We do not say that's the juice bar Nick Crawford liked to go. Like to go.
Great. Okay, so here, basically, this is again the adjective process. So the word persona can be the subject or the object, as we saw.
Yeah.
So here, Carlos Santos is the reporter. Okay, so in this case, is the relative what is the combination?
Talia Santos is the reporter who broke the story.
What else?
And that.
Great. Any other one?
No, just
Great.
those.
And let me ask you this. Is here the reporter, is the reporter in this sentence, is it the subject or the object?
Is the subject.
Yes, exactly. So here the relative pronoun is the subject. So that's a good question.
Yeah.
And that's why we have two options.
Two options. Yeah.
But if we said Carlos is a reporter, I love that reporter. How could you combine these two?
Talia Santos is the reporter whom I love.
Any other one?
The who, that, and just I love.
Great.
The four options.
Yes. So in this case, with the four options, basically the reporter, the relative pronoun, the reporter in this sentence, I love that reporter. Is it the subject or the object?
In the second one, that reporter is the object and I is
Yes, the reporter.
the subject.
The subject, yes. Relevant is the object of the adjective. Okay. So as we said, we use here that for people whom. Whom is an option when the relative pronoun is the object of the clause. Remember that, the object.
Yeah.
Here you have four options, right? And use that on which for things. That is more common than which, but in informal conversations.
Teacher,
Then-
so it's more
Yes.
common when you talk to somebody, use that. When you're
Yes.
talking in the street, I don't know, it's more common. You don't use which, or well, you can use, but it's more grammatical way.
Yes, exactly. So when you
Okay.
talk with somebody, as you said, it's more common to use that. If you listen to the content in English, you're gonna listen far more that than which. But in the TOEFL, it's much better to use which.
Okay. Okay, teacher. Thanks.
Okay, so
It's clear. Yeah.
okay, so we can also use where to describe a place or a place. Okay, this is for places. How would you combine these two?
That is the church where I got married.
Yes. You could also say in which. You could also say like the number one that church, the place that I got married in. That's an option. But you could also say here, where. So you can use the normal version or the other version.
Okay.
Where I get married. Okay, so let's finish in number 5. Here, number
Yeah.
5. Let's do report. Tomorrow we're gonna finish. Then on Wednesday we're gonna have tests. Thursday the same, and on Friday the vocabulary test. Don't forget about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so see you tomorrow. Robert.
Okay. Bye-bye, teacher.
Okay, bye.
Thank you for all the explanations today.
You're welcome. See you tomorrow.